What we've got here is just a little bit about mediums, how they can be used, etc., and what they look like. What we've got just drying at the moment, still wet to the touch. Some of the ones I use mainly. The top one here is an extender, Acrylic Extender. We'll go into more details of them in a little bit. The second one down, which you can hardly see, looks like a wet water mark there, is a well-used bottle of flow improver. The third one is modelling paste. The next to last one here is the Additives Acrylic Glazing Medium. If you'll have a focus, there you go. And finally, right at the bottom here is a matte gel. So just let them dry, come back, and we'll mix a little colour with them, and we'll put them across these, just to see what sort of effects it gives. Okay, what we've got lined up then is all these have dried well now. Oh, apart from that bit, never mind. Let's carry on. What we've got here are, as you can see, these are the acrylics that I've used. Just a thin strip, enough to get the paper completely covered. All Winsor and Newton artist acrylics, apart from the Liquitex at the end. Why? I bought that ages ago, and quite simply, it's a big tube and it's cheap. We've got the titanium white, got raw sienna, got lemon yellow, cobalt blue, pyrrole red, and as I say, the Liquitex heavy body Mars black, which even though it's heavy body, it seems to be a little bit thinner than these anyway. The Cobalt Blue is the one that we're going to be mixing with all the mediums and the gels. It's a semi-transparent, as indicated by the little sign on the back there. So it should give us a good overall idea of what you could do and what the effect is when it's applied over these other colours. Okay, a little bit about mediums. Mediums is a term that's used all the time, but it can apply to, it's basically everything that you can use. It's liquids, it's gels. Gels are used to thicken things up, such as this, and the liquids effectively thin things down, like this. There's two types. There's the Galleria, these are the ones that I use, and these the Artist Acrylics, which I also use. When you're starting out, these are about £7–8, and these are normally knocking around about £10, but you can get them cheaper online and decent stores online like Jackson's. Any difference between them? Well, the medium that's used in these is clear. It's like their Winsor & Newton's acrylic paints. It's a completely clear binder, so there's no difference with these between when they're wet and when they're dry. With these, the Galleria, to extend them to get more volume and to make them cheaper, the binder isn't as clear, so you will get a slight colour shift. Okay, we'll try the extender first. I'm going to try and use about 50–50 of whatever binder, etc., that I'm using with the okay. What I should have said was we're going to use half the amount of paint to the amount of binder, and see how it turns out. Okay, what we're using here then is the Acrylic Extender. What's the extender do? Well, basically it's a way of increasing the amount of paint that you've got. maintains opacity compared to things like the flow improver. It's great for those if you're on a limited budget and you want to get more paint for your money. Always mixing a little bit of this with it is great. It's always easier mixing with the palette knife as well. That's not bad. Okay, let's see if we can stretch that out all the way. Try and load the brush up as much as we can. A bit more. Okay. Okay, next one. It's a flow improver. Amazingly, it improves the flow of your paint. If you're looking at it here, it's just straight out of the tube. So if you mix some of that or all of that with the flow improver, if you go a bit too mad with it though, it can break down. You should be able to see that that's a lot more liquid-like. So what does it do? Well, it actually loosens the surface tension of water within the acrylic film. It increases flow. It lets you do large areas of canvas with a small amount. You'd normally mix it 1 part flow improver to 20 parts water. I generally use it for, I have it mixed in a spray bottle, like this. And I'll give the a canvas a spray with it. It gives you a nice watercolour type effect. If you can see how it's almost like painting with watercolour. Really good, very transparent. Let's give another go over there. Next up, modelling paste. Fine textured paste, soft, thick. You can sculpt with it, you can let it dry, you can sand it, you can carve it, you can use it in layers, bit at a time, helping you to build it up. It'll set a little quicker that way, or you can do it in one great big thick lump. If you're doing massive areas, getting really heavy textures, to be quite honest, I use this type of stuff, lots of it about lightweight filler, great, really good. But if you're not going absolutely mad with it, using the Galleria or the artist quality one, to be honest, when you feel it, it doesn't feel sanded to the touch. It almost feels like there could be salt in it, but the more you pay when you get to the artist quality, the better it is, the smoother it is. I'll just put a little tiny bit of the blue in this just to see how far it stretches. See if you can get see the colours in between that on there, and just a little bit mixed in to all of this. This isn't the sort of thing you would normally probably use a brush to apply with, certainly not a high quality watercolour / acrylic brush. You can see a difference in colour there. So I'll swap to a bristle brush now for this. So this comes out like. Trying to do different little strokes on here so you can just get a sight of the sort of things you can do. Of course you can colour this now, like this, or not bother colouring it at all, just let it dry clear, let it dry without pigment, without paint in it, and then paint over it. Whichever makes you happy. Okay, next up, glazing medium. Is this one. Normally you just squirt it out the top once you've took the little screw cap off, but as always seems to happen with these for me, the little holes in here get constantly clogged up, so I've given up on using that. I just take the top off and dip my brush in, I'll pull a bit out. So you can pull a bit out without it going everywhere. Right, glazing medium. To a degree, it's similar to the Extender and the Improver. It's just another variant, as I can make out with it. It's fantastic for using as watercolours. It's transparent, building up in transparent layers. It's great stuff to use like that. I mainly use it for signing paintings and painting shadows. Mix my shadow colour, and then I can layer and layer and layer it as each one dries until I'm happy with that shadow. Let's mix this up. Again, not too much of it, too much of paint. I've not mixed any water with these, just as you can imagine, it will just thin it out and it will dry quicker with water if I was using water rather than just using the gels. Okay, let's see what that's like. I need a bit more. See how similar it is to the Flow Improver. Not mixed enough. So with that clearness, you can see the sort of effects that you're getting, especially with the yellow. It's actually coming through as a hint of green now. Fantastic for glazing like that. Okay, last one we're using. Artist Acrylic Matte Gel. Again, as it states, no loss of colour depth. We focused the last. Okay, used to maintain thickness. Well, viscosity, if you want to use a word. I just think it's thicker, it's nice and easy to say. It'll hold brush and knife marks, no loss of colour depth. It says dries to a matte finish. You're using it to help you give it the effect of oil paints at times and things like that. Or again, if a little like some of the others, the Extender, you're trying to get more for your money. You see in the tub, it's a lot. Oops, this is knocking the camera twice, 3 times. It looks similar to the modelling page. It's a lot lighter and a lot smoother, and at least you can paint with it as well. What I've done, I've got 3 little blobs of it down here, roughly equivalent to the colour. Let's see what happens when we mix each one. See how the colour either stays or diminishes. That's not bad. Of course, there's the one time when it will change in colour, as you see here, from when it's dried to straight out of the jar, it is a little bit milky. Okay, so that's 3 to 4 times larger than the original pure acrylic paint. Okay, I'll do just for the sake of it, I'll put another spot of the acrylic paint next to it so you can see the original. See it a little bit closer. It's a slight lightening in this, but very, very little. And let's see if that changes when it's dry. I'm using this old rough brush. Can't focus. Rough bristle brush, just to see if we can get the effects of leaving those brush strokes in. I can sort of see the lines. You can certainly say that definitely extends your paint. Does add transparency as well. Okay, I think the last thing that I will do is using the other one just for the sake of it to compare. I'm going to use just the clear paint, or the pure paint I should say, to go over everything. Just to get an idea of something to compare it with. And do you believe all the mediums are worth the fuss? Me? Yeah, I think they're pretty good, to be honest. It's a bit clinical doing it like this at the end of the day, not in a painting, but it does give you an idea of how they work over different colours. Using a semi-transparent on there as well. Okay, I'll let them dry and we'll give it another shot. Well, everything's nearly dry now. I've just painted over this one here just to give you an idea, just to show you that you can paint over quite easily. As I said before, there's no real need to colour the modelling paste. You just put it on, let it dry, paint it over. We can see the majority of them now. You can see them are quite a matte finish, apart really from, I'd say, the original. It's pure thing itself. What I find really weird, maybe it's the angle, is that the matte gel looks quite gloss. I don't know if you can see that or not, all the sun's come out. It was just the angle. It's absolutely very matte. Well, there you go. Let's have a quick look at some of the things that I've used a lot of medium and additives with. You might not be able to see a lot that I've done with this one, but this is basically using the glazing medium in the shadow areas and the extender just to keep it nice and smooth, flat. Okay, this one's had a lot of mediums etc. used on it. I just zoom in on it all. So here, we originally used clear gel and with a mix with a bit of water, and that's how I've stuck the newspaper and magazine cuttings on. You can see the lines like this here. Again, clear gel with a little colour in it. You can just see little bits of red popping through it. And then where you've got real lows, this is all modelling paste underneath. So here, I can get close in on that, you might be able to see it a bit better.